faithfully delivering value, interpreting global bestsellers. Hello, this is Sally's Book Talk. Today, the book we're interpreting for you is called Perfume Epic. When you think of perfume, what comes to mind? Is it the light fragrance of morning dew? Or the mysterious scent of floating shadows at night? Or a hint of temptation lingering at the tip of your nose, stirring a flutter in your heart? Marilyn Monroe once famously said, "I only wear Chanel No. 5 to bed." For modern people, the intangible and invisible perfume always stirs desires and souls. So, do you know how perfume was born? Over thousands of years, what changes and developments has it undergone? What stories lie behind those famous perfumes? Today's Perfume Epic will take you on an exploration to find out. The author of this book, Elizabeth DeFedo, is a doctor of history, a professor at the International Higher Institute of Perfume in France. She serves as a consultant for multiple high-end French perfume brands. She has curated numerous perfume exhibitions and has deep knowledge and research on the history of perfume development and the birth of perfume brands. In this book, she traces the history of perfume from ancient times to the present, telling us a story of humanity's pursuit and adventure with scents, building a marvelous perfume epic. Oh. Next, I will interpret the development of perfume for you in two stages. First, from the primitive period to the early 19th century, how was perfume born and why did it gradually become popular? Second, from the 19th century to the present, how was the modern perfume industry established? And how did perfume become a symbol for people to express their individuality? First, let's talk about the first stage, the process of perfume's birth and popularity in ancient times. At the beginning of human civilization, fragrance was an exclusive luxury for the gods. As early as the Neolithic Age, shamans and priests of primitive tribes would burn aromatic herbs in rituals. This was the earliest form of scent. By the Bronze Age, people would soak aromatic substances in water to boil, then place them in edible vegetable oil or animal fat, simmering for several days. Finally, after twisting and filtering through cotton or linen fabrics, they obtained essential oils or perfumed ointments. Later, the ancient Egyptians placed fresh flowers directly on fats. The fats absorbed the fragrance from the flowers, called perfume balm. People lit these fragrant products on altars to communicate with the gods. The burning incense dispersed aromatic smoke, carrying people's prayers to the gods as the smoke curled up and gradually dissipated into the sky. This is the smoke consumed by the gods, accepting human offerings. Ancient Egyptians offered incense to the gods at least 3 times a day. In the morning, they used pine oil, at noon, myrrh oil, and in the evening, a famous sacred incense called kaifi, extracted from the branches of the myrrh tree, with a burnt, sweet aroma. This spice is said to have come from the ancient land of Punt on the Arabian Peninsula. Ancient Egypt had a high demand for myrrh and maintained direct trade with Punt, even sending a fleet to carefully select and bring back 31 myrrh trees. They called it a treasure from the land of the gods. Unfortunately, these trees couldn't adapt to Egypt's climate, so the ancient Egyptians had to continue importing from Punt. Precious myrrh. Kaifi is a compound perfume and also the oldest preserved spice with a known recipe. In the tomb of Egyptian pharaoh Tutankhamun, a jar preserving the scent of kaifi was unearthed. Its fragrance is delightful, gentle, sweet, with a hint of woody notes. In Egypt, on the west bank of the Nile, there's a well-preserved Egyptian temple called the Temple of Edfu, where archaeologists discovered a perfume-making room. Here, not only are there various religious texts and secret recipes for perfume making, but the walls are also inscribed with the basic ingredients and recipe of kifi, which is a blend of 16 components. Depending on market supply, the recipe varied, but the main ingredients always included myrrh, pine resin, frankincense, honey, wine, etc. Not only in ancient Egypt, but perfume products were also common in religious ceremonies in other ancient civilizations. The ancient Greeks used it to celebrate the festival of Dionysus, the god of wine. Arabs used spices to purify their bodies before prayers to ward off evil spirits. Ancient Indians and Chinese used incense to worship gods. Besides religious rituals, perfume products had other uses. In ancient times, perfume products played a more important role in healthcare. As fragrance was a symbol of purity, people believed it could not only purify the soul, but also ward off evil spirits and cleanse the body. Perfume products gradually entered secular life. In the prescriptions of the ancient Greek physician Hippocrates, he included pain-relieving ointments, essential oils, and aromatic medicines. He also used fumigation therapy and burning incense woods to treat patients with malaria and plague. The ancient Greeks, who loved perfume products, invented floral essential oils and scented juices, using iris, rose, lily, and myrtle as main ingredients. They also invented a new animal scent, blending musk and ambergris. In ancient Greece, guests at banquets would apply fragrant oils to their hair and chests, while hosts, to show hospitality, would prepare pleasantly scented foot baths for guests. Ancient Greeks also sprayed perfume on their houses, livestock, and even on their battle flags before wars. Ancient Greek warriors rubbed fragrant oils on their bodies to protect against the scorching Mediterranean sun and to mask body odor. And after wars, essential oils could also be used to treat wounds. The Romans' love for essential oils surpassed even that of the Greeks. They applied various scented oils to their heads, used masks made from perfumed ointments, and even sprayed saffron perfume. Even when building houses, the Romans mixed spices into the mortar, so that when sunlight hit the house, the heat would release the fragrance. In the 1st century AD, Rome consumed about 2,800 tons of frankincense and 550 tons of myrrh annually. However, by the 5th century AD, with the rise of Christian influence, the use of perfume in secular life gradually declined. Christian thought associated perfume with desire, viewing fragrance as synonymous with frivolity. It wasn't until the 11th century, after the Crusaders returned victorious from places like Cyprus, bringing back new scents and spices, that people reignited their passion for various perfume products. This included rosewater, popular in Arab countries. Rosewater was invented by the Persian physician Avicenna, who improved the earlier distillation method to steam distillation, adding a partition in the still, boiling water below, placing petals above, distilling with steam, and finally obtaining rosewater with rose essential oil. Arab medicine believed that red roses had anti-inflammatory properties, so Arabs used rosewater not only for washing hands, but also added it to food and medicines. Yeah. By the 14th century, with the discovery of ethanol, people began using alcohol as a solvent to make perfume. As we mentioned earlier, perfumed ointments and waters used fats or water as carriers. Compared to fats and water, alcohol has good fluidity, evaporates easily, and can be sprayed freely. When essential oils dissolve in alcohol, the release of fragrance slows down, and it can be preserved longer without spoiling. In fact, thus, alcohol-based perfumes gradually became the primary method for perfume production. But before the 15th century, alcohol was strictly confined to medical use. The first alcohol-containing perfume actually first appeared as a medicinal remedy, known as Hungary water. Hungary water was created in 1370, when the 70-year-old Queen of Hungary reportedly suffered from stiff limbs and gout. She received a secret recipe from a monk she'd never met. Place rosemary and marjoram leaves with sage and ethanol in a glass bottle. Leave in sunlight for 5 to 6 days to create a remedy. I need Betty. Legend says after taking this remedy for a full year, the queen's skin became as smooth as in her youth, her body full of vitality, and she even charmed the young Polish king. By 1660, Hungary water became a specialty product in Montpellier, France's perfume capital, and was beloved at Versailles. To people then, Hungary water was practically a cure-all. taken orally or applied topically. It supposedly prevented headaches, dizziness, nervous tension, rheumatism, and even the plague. In the 16th century, Catherine de' Medici, of Italy's Medici family, married French King Henry II, bringing Italian perfume trends to France. Catherine's personal perfumer René had received professional training at Florence's perfume school. His perfume-making skills were exceptional. After coming to France, he opened a boutique in Paris. In Grasse, France's perfume region, René discovered wonderful spices and used them to scent leather, creating perfumed gloves for the king. What? 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 King Henry II loved them, placed more orders, and soon celebrities were buying them, making scented gloves all the rage. Catherine's son, who would become King of France, Henry III enjoyed wearing two gloves simultaneously, one fragrant with flesh-toned, patterned lining. He also owned skincare gloves soaked in lard and white wax mixture. At night, he'd wear these skincare gloves to nourish his hands. Scented gloves also signaled social status. Nobles wore gloves to prevent sun-darkened skin, like commoners, and to avoid direct contact, preventing disease transmission. In the 17th century, the ultimate user of perfume was undoubtedly King Louis XIV of France. Known as the most fragrant and charming king, it's said he bathed only 3 times in his life. Some accounts say he bathed only once in his lifetime. Actually, not just the king avoided bathing. Records indicate half of Parisians never bathed in their lives. Why didn't people bathe? This was because since the Middle Ages, plagues were rampant. People believed bathing opened body pores to diseases, while dirt could seal pores and block illnesses. Thus, people stopped water bathing and instead dry rubbed with towels before changing into spice-soaked clean clothes. Before visiting Madame de Montespan, Louis XIV would have servants scrub his body and remove body hair at her request. He'd then spray heavy perfume to mask body odor. But did that eliminate the stench? Certainly not, because European cities were filthy, especially crowded Paris with overloaded sewers, the Seine covered in waste, and even Versailles reeked. To mask the stench, the French perfumed rooms with heavy scents or potent spices. But perfumes of this era were crude and overpowering. Thus, Versailles smelled of rancid musk. Louis XIV overused perfume until even he felt nauseated. However, Louis XIV's passion for perfume greatly advanced the 17th century fragrance industry. He issued patents recognizing perfumed glove makers and perfumers, establishing their guilds' legal status. To protect French craftsmanship, he enacted commercial laws with tax-free spice imports. Perfume ingredients diversified. Beyond roses, they added jasmine, lavender, tuberose, and aromatic plants. By late 17th century, perfume shops filled Paris with diverse products. Perfumes, scented powders, soaps, hand creams, floral waters, essential oils, perfumed gloves, sachets, accompanied by varied perfume bottles, boxes, and pouches. Another huge influence on the perfume industry was Napoleon, Emperor of the First French Empire. He was totally obsessed with eau de cologne. This perfume was made by adding citrus and neroli essential oils to Hungary water. It's got high alcohol content, so besides regular perfume use, it's for bathing, gargling, mixing with red wine or sugar for drinking, and quick disinfection or a pick-me-up. During his expedition to Egypt, Napoleon got into the habit of using eau de cologne to scrub his body, even becoming dependent on it. Rumor has it he used 1 bottle of eau de cologne every single day. By 1810, he was going through 36 to 40 bottles a month on average. Later, when Napoleon was exiled to St. Helena, he ran out of eau de cologne. He even whipped up his own mint-based eau de cologne. Napoleon was a big supporter of France's perfume industry. He pushed scientists to study organic chemistry, leading to revolutionary changes in French perfumery that put it ahead of global trends. All right, that wraps up part 1. Fragrance products first popped up in religious rituals for communicating with gods, and their sacred vibe made people believe in their healing powers. Gradually, Fragrances entered everyday life, and with royal backing, the industry boomed. By the mid to late 19th century, the Industrial Revolution and tech advances brought technical innovations to perfume making. That's how the modern perfume industry was born, and perfume became a way to show off your personality. This is the second stage we're diving into. Back then, a key innovation was improvements in distillation and extraction tech. Compared to old school distillation, the new steam method got way purer essential oils from natural spices, and it worked for all aromatic plants, woods, roses, and neroli. Solvent extraction was another technique that gave super pure essential oils with almost no gunk, and plus the fragrance compound concentration was much higher than from traditional steam distillation, and another big leap was synthetic fragrances showing up. Scientists studied essential oil components and molecular structures, then whipped up new synthetic fragrances through artificial synthesis, like vanillin with its sweet bean and creamy milk scent, coumarin with rich leather and smoky notes, heliotropin releasing vanilla and cherry aromas, and ionone for violet fragrance, all stable and potent, giving perfumers more tools. Provides inspiration for artistic creations in perfumery. Perfumers blend natural and synthetic fragrances in exquisite proportions to develop novel perfumes. In 1889, Guerlain launched J'adore, innovatively adding trace amounts of new synthetic fragrances, vanillin, and vanillic aldehyde, plus substantial civet. J'adore's complexity broke traditions. Prior perfumes favored single floral notes, while J'adore pioneered layered accords, establishing modern perfume's top, middle, base note structure. This was epoch-making. Mysteriously elusive, its top notes feature fresh lemon, transitioning to vanilla and lavender, with animalic base notes. François Coty, hailed as modern perfumery's father, also championed synthetic fragrances. He revolutionized existing styles by perfectly blending precious naturals and synthetics, creating unprecedented intensity that birthed modern floral, oriental, and chypre families. These fragrance families emerged. His 1904 La Rose Jacqueminot featured intense rose notes, innovatively using rhodinol and ionome. Initially unpopular for its novelty, legend says, Coty pretended to drop a bottle, spilling its scent, drawing crowds. It became an instant sensation. Coty's 1905 L'Oregon pioneered modern oriental fragrances, featuring woody, spicy, resinous notes with bergamot, ylang ylang, and wood floral synthetics, blending sensual oriental tones with soft florals, while Chypre takes its name from Coty via his 1917 namesake creation. He masterfully combined citrus, oak moss, patchouli, labdanum from rock rose with synthetics. With warm, dry, and elegant notes balanced in complex structure, this affordable scent swept Europe, North America, establishing Chypre as a distinct family. Beyond inspiring perfumers, synthetics' mass production and affordability enabled perfume industrialization. Perfume manufacturers established standardized factories for mechanized production, greatly increasing output while reducing costs. Coty keenly recognized middle and working class demand, breaking tradition by selling smaller, affordable bottles instead of large volumes. He commissioned artists to design exquisite bottles, using luxurious packaging to transform perfume into mainstream merchandise. After Coty, French cosmetics brand Bourjois launched Evening in Paris for middle-class consumers in late 1920s. Priced at just 9 francs with luxury packaging, its ads promised wives would feel refreshed by its sweetness. Its price delighted husbands. Bourjois pioneered advertising through flyers, brochures, scent cards, samples, and gifts. Strategies proving highly effective. A 1939 Paris Perfume Association survey ranked it third among top sellers, with vast reach becoming iconic in 1930s to 40s. And as Bourjois captured Shanghai's market, fashion houses entered perfumery targeting luxury segments, creating classics. Coco Chanel became the first fashion designer to create perfume. She demanded perfume matching her brand's style, long-lasting yet non-greasy skin adhesion, like her dresses, innovative, flowing yet simple. Thus Chanel commissioned Ernest Beaux, perfumer to Russian Tsar Nicholas II. Beaux presented 24 samples. After testing each, Chanel chose sample 5. Groundbreaking with 80 ingredients beyond jasmine, featuring tenfold aldehydes. Though aldehydes have harsh synthetic notes, scorned by perfumers, they intensify scents and prolong longevity. Beau's bold innovation revolutionized perfumery. This perfume, named Chanel No. 5, was born in 1921. Its top notes exude ylang ylang and agar wood. Middle notes feature jasmine and rose, with base notes of sandalwood and vetiver, intensely long-lasting and instantly recognizable. As the first perfume showcasing a complete olfactory structure, it pioneered a new, modern fragrance category. After Chanel successfully linked fashion with perfume, other designers followed suit. 1930, sportswear designer Jean Patou launched Joy, touted as the world's most expensive perfume, using over 100 precious botanicals, including top-grade Bulgarian rose and grass jasmine. Each ounce of essence concentrated 28 bouquets of roses and 10,600 jasmine blossoms. It smells opulent. Top notes of tangy tuberose and silky yang yang. Middle notes burst with jasmine unfolding into rose, while base notes highlight deep musk and sandalwood. If its elegant scent, this perfume eased panic during the Great Depression. Priced at 400 francs, it became the second bestseller after Chanel No. 5. Christian Dior launched Miss Dior in 1946, extending his fashion aesthetic. He said, "Just open the bottle to recall all my fashion creations." In 1951, Hermès introduced Eau de Hermès, with leather notes complementing their handbags. In 1957, designer Givenchy released Elle Interdit, the name reflecting his aristocratic heritage. That same year, he created Interdit exclusively for Audrey Hepburn. From the 1960s, youth embracing individuality and women's liberation transformed fashion and perfume into personal expression symbols. In 1972, Dior launched an energizing perfume for free-spirited women named Diorella. Its top notes, crisp lemon and basil. Middle notes, honeysuckle and jasmine with peachy sweetness. Base notes, earthy vetiver with woody undertones, symbolizing spring breezes and summer sun, embodying a vibrant modern woman. A woman in trousers, carefree, smiling yet elegantly charming. To unleash feminine allure, Yves Saint Laurent launched Opium in 1977, a sensual, dizzying mystery blending agarwood, fiery spices, delicate florals, and myrrh, captivating all with its spicy seduction.
After its French debut, it swept Europe. Counters emptied, even delivery trucks were robbed.
Dior's 1985 Poison surpassed it in celebrating freedom, avant-garde sexuality, mixing intense florals, spices, fruits, and musk. Playful yet profound, light yet erotic, startling yet comforting. Poison symbolized fiery confidence, women embracing their era and magnetism. But its success drew criticism, too. Some U.S. restaurants banned it, fearing its aggressive scent, posting no poison signs. Influenced by 90s minimalism, Issey Miyake created L'Oie d'Issey in 1992, merging purity with subtle sensuality. Its scent evokes water poured over clean skin.
Ethereal top notes, water lily, freesia, soft rose, delicate and smooth.
Heart notes, lily, peony, osmanthus. Base, sandalwood, cypress with pure non-sexual musk. Some brands pushed individuality and artistry further.
Niche perfumes became haute couture of fragrance, perfume aristocracy.
They redefined perfume through experimental, rule-breaking creations, independent or conglomerate-backed, like Shiseido's Serge Lutens, positioned as artistic statements. Each creation begins with literature, unique scents with stories and moods. Serge Lutens perfumes contain no chemicals. Luxury lines use rare, pure essences. Another perfumer, François Demachy, believes in crafting classics with the finest raw materials. His brand gathers dozens of world-renowned perfumers who freely create rare fragrances, like Fleur Musk, priced at €245 per 100 milliliters, 15 to 20 times higher than average. Innovative concept. He also emulates publishing houses by having master designer sign each perfume. These artistic creations offer soulful expansion, emotional awakening, and poetic dreams. Today, perfume innovation continues. New molecular extraction captures scent molecules from diverse sources like figs and caviar. Biotech modifies plants to produce novel aromas. Combining biotech with organic chemistry synthesizes new compounds. 10 or more new aromatics emerge yearly, pushing perfume boundaries. That covers most of Perfume Epic. What exactly is perfume? Something intangible like music, mysterious like time. Though fleeting, it's saturated with eternal memories. So what makes perfume beautifully captivating? French master perfumer Edmond Rudnitska expressed it this way. Exquisite perfume delivers sensory shock, instantly stirring emotions, followed by lasting spiritual impact as it gradually reveals its soul. All right, that concludes our journey through Perfume Epic. Reading notes are below the audio. See you next time.